So I'm trying to go live on Instagram as well. I don't see it happening. Not sure that it did, actually.
You're so lucky that you had a fucking clip of me in that intro. I was like, huh? What? Who? Wait.
Of course.
Oh.
You're always part of my life. The one thing everybody remembers is you going live with me when you were at Chase or was it Yankee Stadium or some shit like this.
Yeah, at City Field. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is he thinking? It was like he wasn't thinking. It's okay. It's okay.
No, it doesn't make a difference. It was still awesome.
It was fun and it was silly. So hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday, December 19th. What we are doing tonight is just having a little discussion, me and Grillo talking about
Death.
Death.
Lots of death. Actually, today was the day my grandfather passed away.
Oh, you're kidding.
Back in 1984. I still wear his ring.
Nice.
Since 1984. Yeah, we're talking about death tonight.
So how did you find out about Ralphie Cake's dying?
Ralphie Cake's dying. I have a very good friend of mine, and I'll give him a shout out, Chris. I don't know if he's an ex-cop. I don't think he maybe wants to use his last name. Tracy. Anyway, so Chris.
His name official, so.
No, I got a text at 6:30 in the morning from Chris T, and that was the first inkling that I got out. I heard about it, and then I got another one about 7 o'clock. I forgot who that was from, and but then there was a bunch of speculation throughout the early morning
about
as things started to arise and pop up, and well, as much as I haven't spoken to Ralph and he's an asshole, it did make me happy.
Well, of course. I mean, you never want to see somebody in their 50s die. I mean, that's just a sad truth. Anybody who's like in this age group is not somebody you want to see die. I mean, I have no love lost for Ralph at all. I mean, at all. I do want to talk about I know you had so much interaction with him, but here's the weird thing about that day is that Howard said that Beth woke up at 4:30 in the morning and went to Ralph's apartment to collect all of his stuff. Why would he do that? Why would she do that? Is that crazy?
I didn't hear. First of all, I don't even. Let's go back because there might be a lot of people listening that aren't as geeked out that maybe on my side that don't know where did Ralph die, and what do you mean she went to his apartment? That it was that easy?
All right, let's recap. So apparently,
I know there's a lot of people that I don't think know that. I know all your hardcore people know all the details, but since we're going to be splicing this into my fans or not my fans, but people that I know, that I think it'd be interesting if we start from the beginning. Where and when did this happen? How did it happen? And how did this go down? Because I don't know all the details. I know you got your finger on the pulse kind of thing. So fill me in because I don't know, and I know a lot of people may not know.
So he came on air on Wednesday to let us know that that Ralph had passed away. First thing he talked about in the morning, but we all knew about it already because John Stamos had made a post.
That's where I got it. That's where that's where the first source that I got came from, and we'll go back to the John Stamos thing later. But I want to know about where was he?
Yes. So John Stamos had posted it, so we were all like, okay, what happened? Where was he? What happened? So when Howard came on air, he said he had spoken to Ralph on Monday night. He apparently had a lymphoma of some sort, a rare one. And, Howard's first thing was like, he didn't take care of himself. He didn't have help.
This wasn't public, by the way. His nobody knew about his sickness.
Right. So he was going in for some procedure, I guess, related to the cancer. And when they put him under, I guess he died of a coronary, like a heart attack, while he was under anesthesia or something to that effect. So he died in the hospital. And
where? What state?
He was in New Jersey. He was.
He was home in New Jersey.
Home in New Jersey.
Okay. So then the question would be like,
Wait.
Why is Beth at his apartment at 4:30 in the morning?
So they do the wrap-up show on Tuesday, I guess it was, and Ralph's sister called Gary when he was on air on the wrap-up show, and he took the call during a break, and the sister said that Ralph died. He died in on the operating table having a procedure, and he's like,
Who knew he was having the procedure?
besides Howard, it doesn't seem.
Well, did Howard know he was going underneath the knife?
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't seem like too many people knew about it. No, none of the people on staff knew about it. I think Robin knew about it because Howard told her. And so then Gary called Howard and said, I just got the weirdest phone call from Ralph's sister saying that he died. He's like, what are you talking about? And so then he tried calling Ralph a couple of times, then called the sister and found out that he did indeed pass away. So the next morning when he came on air, Beth already was on her way to New Jersey, and she came on air to talk about it and said that she packed away all his stuff, things.
Whoa, my God. She's fucking collecting evidence.
That's exactly
What? She's over there covering Howard's ass. Why would she have the keys to Ralph's apartment?
Apparently his next door neighbors met her there because they're the only key holders, and I don't know how they knew that either. It just sounded really weird and suspicious to me, but apparently they let her in, and she said it was really weird being in there
by herself. She didn't have like an entourage of like a security guy, some guy with a giant fucking sack on his back.
No, by herself. And she said it was really weird because it was like he was just there. Like the bed was still unmade. There was dishes in the sink and shit like that. He was just there. And then she packed away all his stuff and said, I have a really great idea. Instead of, giving all his stuff away, maybe what we should do is
burn it really quickly.
Have an auction, and then, we can give the money to Ralph's sister and his mother down in Florida because they could really use it. So that's the story that we heard. So weird, right? Why would Beth go there? Why?
Instantly. She was like on the next fucking floor out from Florida.
No, they're still in New York. 4:30.
Oh, I don't know. So that she's instantly at Ralph's apartment as soon as he dies, over there bagging shit up.
Yes.
Not even like fucking letting everybody like the whole death thing settle in for half a second.
No.
Was the first thing that they thought of was you better get over there and fucking collect this shit before someone else finds it?
Yes. Isn't that weird?
And they admitted it on air?
Yes, they said that they were doing a nice thing because
nice thing. What you said at 4:30 in the morning she did it?
Yes, because he has all these collectibles, and they didn't want anybody going in there and stealing his stuff, so that they.
What? Wow, I see. I didn't know all this. This is kind of bizarre. No one's calling this out. I would think that something like this is so obvious that they are not calling this out. I'm just hearing this for the first time.
I know.
So okay, I didn't know she went over there to do damage control at 4:30 in the morning after she found out that Ralph died.
Yes.
That speaks volumes. What is she over there? She's protecting his fucking Star Wars toys?
I don't know.
His collectibles? Or evidence that he knows, or pictures? Or shit that he has over there? Electronics? Where's his computers? Where's his cell phone? Where's his fucking... Wow.
Yes.
Wow. This is kind of really interesting. I'm kind of perplexed right now. I was more perplexed because, the rumors that I heard is the fact that, Mr. Billionaire knew he was sick and the poor Ralph didn't have it. And I'm someone that jumped from health insurance to health insurance. I understand when you don't have it, how reluctant you are to go to a doctor. So I've heard rumors, and I don't know it. Maybe you can confirm, is the fact that he wasn't helping him with his health insurance, which is why Ralph was so reluctant to go to get medical attention. And it went to the point where he died from it. Is that true or no?
Well, Okay, and we don't know what we don't know, but what Howard said is that Ralph did not have any coverage for the longest time, and apparently he knew about his illness since April,
And
and
he knew his boy wasn't fucking covered. A
and
billionaire knew his friend wasn't covered.
he
You know
finally
what? If I was in that situation, all my friends that I know have a lot of fucking money, they would have taken care of that in half a goddamn second.
yes, but
Because you want to know why? They're my friends, and they would have done it.
I thought that he was on Howard's payroll, though. How is it?
I did the one thing that I did hear over the years, and we all know, if everybody knows, you're a big Stern fan. Howard's birthday is January 12th,
Yes,
and his corporation is called 112th Inc.
yes,
Okay, which is a public thing. I heard Ralph was the only person that was under payroll and under health insurance. And I
and
heard this from inside people. He was the only person that 112th Inc. Paid through, I guess, or
no,
was taken care of, because people always wondered where he got paid from.
his sister was under the 112 Productions blanket as well, Ellen. Weirdly,
Okay. I
and
never met Ellen, but I know I think I've spoken to her. But yes,
and
I
Beth,
know Ralph has. Again, I was close with Ralph. I knew his family through him.
was Ralph part of the show before you got there? Was he part of it, or were you there?
Yeah. But he was just like starting to, like, it was. I got there at the end of the last season of Channel 9. So
Okay,
Ralph
so
was
he's
just
not
Ralph.
there.
So when Ralph was there, anything Howard had to do, because when I was there, it just really started to blow up. So there was more things that were going on with Howard, and he relied on it because Ralph made his hair the Channel 9 show.
The
He did that
prosthetic.
whole fucking hardcore Howard Stern rock and roll hairdo, which was inspired by Dee Snider, which no one will ever talk about. Because I know Dee told him to do that, but Ralph sort of modeled his hair for what Dee described, how it should look, kind of thing. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Dee helped Howard set his style, and the way he looked during the Channel 9 show. Ralph was there maintaining it, and Howard really liked the fact that he looked like a badass,
So what?
and because of Ralph doing his shit, and then with the leather jackets and stuff. But I think that all came from
But
Howard's friendship with Dee Snider.
But Steve, so Ralph started with him and became like his absolute bestie. Ralph was like,
Yeah, it was weird. It
years
was
old.
weird. Well, in the beginning, when they started doing the E show, Ralph was there every morning at 5 o'clock when I was there.
Yeah.
That's sort of like, sometimes we showed up to work at the same time. We were out, at the China Club or something, and Howard and Ralph did his hair that whole time, and Ralph started. So Ralph suddenly was thrust into the daily life of, it was used to be just like me, Gary, Ganji, John, Robin, Fred, Scott. In the beginning, like that's all that was there at 5 o'clock in the morning, And then all of a sudden, now Ralph was there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden it was like, what, and then all of a sudden, well, again, I became good friends with Ralph at that point. We were sort of in the same. We both had fun going out and doing shit. I knew a bunch of people in the nightclub. I got us all into this shit. Ralph knew some people. We wound up, starting Scores with Lonnie at the same time. I brought Ralph to Scores. You know what I'm saying? Because of Lonnie Hanover, and because I work with Lonnie at Club Expo.
The story of him dealing drugs at Spa, true or false?
Oh, Ralph dealing drugs where?
At Spa. He was out with Howard and he got kicked out of a nightclub because somebody told the bouncers that he was dealing drugs.
I don't think Ralph would ever deal drugs. I know he took drugs, but I wouldn't see a reason for him to deal it. But here's the deal. What's the deal? What if you have a bunch and you have a friend that's looking for something and you hand it off and he reimburses you? Yeah, that's dealing. But is it dealing?
Yes. Well, I don't know. know.
Legally, is it dealing, or do you have some extra and your friend says, I'll give you 50 for what you got in your pocket, and you take it?
That's dealing.
Yeah, legally that's dealing, but are you a dealer or are you just hooking up your friend?
That's dealing. Here's my question, though.
Are you doing it all the time, or you just did it that one time because you had an extra one?
I don't know what I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So so look, I'll stick up for Ralph in that area. That's gray. Was he dealing? I never heard that he dealt anything. And for what I do know about him, I don't think he was that type of guy. He knew that he worked for Howard Stern. He knew that if he got busted dealing something, it would ruin Howard's fucking reputation. And maybe he was just hooking up a friend.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think it is about Ralph that absolutely not? And you don't have to be talking from firsthand, but what is it about Ralph that everybody hated? Like, what is it about him that made him?
His arrogancy.
Why though? Why did
He
he?
was just so arrogant. He had what I didn't have, which is I don't give a fuck. Ralph did not give a fuck. I like shit used to bother me. I would get Ralph had no issue about going on the air and saying shit.
Why?
And he had no shame. It's sort of like Richard and Sal. They don't have any shame. It's not that he had shame. He had no regrets about how arrogant he was. And I think what helped him was the fact that I think, Howard was, they were so close and he knew he was protected.
Nobody but
he was
Ralph.
protected. I didn't have that protection. Nobody had that protection. Ralph had the protection.
Why?
Because he was like personal with Howard. Like he had Howard's phone number. Like I didn't have. Like I know Ganji didn't have it. I know. I'm sure Gary had it, but I know for years John didn't have it. Maybe Jackie had it, and of course Fred had it, and Robert had it. But like Ralph had his phone number. He had his real personal ear. They did stuff outside the radio station. And that's what drove John crazy, because John was like, I've been here. I put my life on the line for you. And you're taking this guy and you're taking him out and you're being his friend and you're not doing it to me. Because Howard tortured John for years, keeping him on the outs. He wouldn't let him in that inner circle.
But do you think it's weird?
And then Ralph was not only the inner circle, but Ralph had his own inner circle.
15, 18 years younger than him?
Yeah. So I have friends that are much older than me.
Oh, babe.
And I have friends that are much younger than me.
But
so sometimes it doesn't make a difference. Somebody's as a person, he just became fun.
But if they're shaving your belly hair, it's a little different, no?
Dude, there's also the homo. We all know that there's that homoerotic, mystery about those two and about Ralph altogether. I know he had no problem getting naked in front of me.
So I find that very bizarre. I have a clip.
Yeah, it was really bizarre, and I ran screaming.
I have a clip. We're gonna play it. It's from last week.
Yeah.
And, you were in studio at this time. I just want to play the clip really quickly, and then we'll talk about it at the back.
Ralph got his nipple pierced. He's showing on camera. Come here, man.
Oh, I hate that.
You got to see this thing. Come here, man.
Thick. It's got such a large gauge on it. Watch.
Yeah, I know. You got too big a ring. Look at this.
And it's always
the camera
in the
get that?
way. It's all dried up. Look at that. Hold on.
Hey, come over here, man. Walk over here.
Howard, look at it really close.
Because you know what it is?
Crusty. That's
He's
the
got
word.
really big nipples, Ralph. Seriously,
Yeah,
like a woman.
Pull
up your whole shirt. Look at this. First of all.
Why did you show that of a man and not of a woman?
Look.
You see?
Tell me.
You see your lap?
He's always wanted you.
Fucking Fred.
Hey, look. Look at. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Look at the size.
Does it hurt?
Oh, that's weird. That looks like, hey, little boy, comes in on Santa's lap and show me your nipple.
Tell me why that's. Tell me.
Was I in the studio for that? I don't know.
You were right there.
Was that me?
Yes, that was you.
I was more focused on Ralph's nipple.
Well, the whole thing is, what does everybody think when a Ralph, lifts up his shirt, shows Howard his nipple ring, sits on his lap?
No, he sat on his lap and he was twitching it. Like it was like a little Rice Krispie treat.
So we had a thought and we thought it was really weird. And Frank the Tank is saying it right this second. We were like, I wonder if that's the body he used on the.
Oh, wow. You know what, though? No, because Howard was much more hairy than Ralph.
No. Don't you remember that Howard admitted that the private parts poster was a different body? Hold on a second. I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. And you're going to say, okay, holy shit. What's going on there? Because we had a thought. Hold on. Let me just find it. Private parts. Movie poster. Movie poster.
You look fantastic, by the way, darling.
Oh, thank you, love. So
Look
good.
at you, all sexy. Your cherry red lipstick. What do
Zegzy.
you think? You're Blondie? You're
Zegzy.
gonna start singing Heart of Glass?
Hard and ass. All right. No, this wasn't the one I had last week. The one I had, he was completely shaved. It was kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure, if you really want to get into it, that Ralph was the one that must have convinced him to fucking go as a trans on Miss America.
Why?
Because I just know I was there. I can't like pull up an instance, but it was just weird that he went trans, like when they decided to be a girl and dressed as that. And I rolled with Ralph, and he rolled with, like, there was a whole group of trannies that we rolled with at Club Expo and shit like that, and he brought them all into the fold.
So look at that body.
And I was friends with them, and I'm still friends with the trannies, and not from that group, but from another. I had transvestite women at my wedding. Okay, I've been involved in that world from back in 1990, and Ralph took me into the world for the first time when I worked at Club Expo, and there was all those transvestites, and he brought them into the fold, and he liked that one. There was like, I can't remember their names right now, but there was one that was like Howard used to bring on the air all the time, and I met her through Ralph, but Ralph met her at Club Expo when I brought him in there when I worked the VIP room.
Wow, I just tapped into this weird, like, rejected posters from the Private Parts posters.
Listen, that was definitely not his physique.
No,
but like
him.
The one they used looked pretty real.
No, he admitted that it's not him.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is Ralph. That would be weird, huh?
Oh, he was definitely on set for that shit. I know he was there, but like, it wasn't until it wasn't until after Private Parts that Ralph lost his hairdressing job.
Now, why is that?
Well, on Private Parts, he had the best people at his feet, and the wig that he wore. Oh, I wish I could think of her name, but she's on the credits. The wig that he wore, she was a master wig maker, and her daughter, who I think is still on Blue Bloods or whatever, she's still working. She was a master hairdresser. Okay, she came from the woman that did Howard's hair for the wig, blew Howard's mind. Because she was such a good person, like she made the best wigs in the movie industry, like the wigs that you didn't realize all those big celebrities wearing all these years. They hired her, and I mean, we all knew it's obviously not Howard's hair. He said it straight up. It's for the movie. It makes it look better. But that woman, her daughter, also started doing Howard's hair for other things. But she was making way too much money in the movie business, so she suggested her friend, who was the woman who's probably, I don't know if she's still doing it. She was a British girl. She started coming in every morning at 5:00 and doing Howard's hair.
So
and it was all because of Private Parts.
So
and
yeah,
the British woman, she came in every morning. She was so sweet.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony. That's right, Tony. I was like, I worked with her every morning for years. And she's a sweetheart. But Ralph was no longer there at 5:00 in the morning anymore. And that all comes from Private Parts.
So
God, I wish somebody out there, I'm sure you got somebody you could look at the credits for Private Parts right now and look who the hair and makeup or the wig master. I'll know her name because it was because they got Tony from Tony was a recommendation from the mother and the daughter.
So let's go to Private Parts for a really quick second. The whole condom issue. Do you think that Ralph was just like covering for Howard?
Which condom issue?
The whole thing where on the rider were condoms for Howard's dressing room. And apparently Allison saw it sitting on his assistant's desk and said, "What the hell is this?" And he said,
I never heard that before.
Are you kidding? That's a classic story.
No, well, I don't. If I did, I don't remember it right now.
That's a
But
classic.
this will bring me. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if I'm going to get you like banned, because what I'm going to say is something I saw myself, which didn't make sense, and it's going to infer something huge that
What?
no one's ever heard before.
We
And
know-
I don't care, because it's not going to get me. It's not going to do anything horrible for me. But I could tell you a story that freaked me out, and it had to do with this. So, do you want me to do this? Because I don't want to get you in trouble.
Why would I get in trouble?
I don't know, because it's something I saw with my own eyes, but it's going to be something kind of groundbreaking that I really haven't told too many people.
Say it, damn it. And how do I know that I've heard this from you already?
Well, listen, if you make money from this bitch, you better hit me off with something.
We've had lots of drunken conversations, you and I. So
I know, I understand that, but so everybody knows the director Eli Roth. Cabin Fever, he's been Glorious Bastards. Eli Roth was the man.
he was
Eli Roth, at the time of Private Parts, was doing Howard Silver Cup Studio. All right, I got to go back a little bit. I apologize, but Silver Cup Studios is right across the 59th Street Bridge. It's an old bread factory. They turned into a studio where they filmed Private Parts, The Sopranos, and a bunch of other shit that was huge section of the city. They built an apartment on top of one of the old office buildings for Howard to stay at. When we shot late, which we never did because we were on a 10-hour schedule, Howard could have went home. I lived a 10-hour schedule. I went home and did my shit, but they accommodated Howard, built him an apartment on top of Silver Cup, so he didn't have to go home. He could just leave from 59th Street to go straight to the radio station in the morning.
right.
It wasn't that much of a difference, but they did it for him. They hired an overnight PA who happened to be
Eli Roth. We know that.
Eli Roth. So this isn't something that, but Eli Roth, the only way I knew Eli was because at the end of the day, I walked Howard up to his room, got to meet Eli and said, "What's up? Nice to meet you." And we did this a lot. So at the Private Parts rap party, not premiere, rap party, okay, which was just the crew, Eli was tripping balls. When I say tripping balls, he was like, his jaw was going and shit like that. And not that I wasn't too more fucked up than he was. No judgment on him tripping balls. But it wasn't until Mary McCormick showed up and they were like, "Yo, what's up? Oh my God, how you doing? Oh, it's so good to see you. This and that, blah, blah, blah." And then they started talking like they knew each other for a million years. And I went, "Well, that's weird. Eli's the fucking overnight PA. Why would he know Mary? He never saw the cast." But yet,
He knew Mary.
Mary was obviously going over to his apartment in Silver Cup after the shit was wrapped.
You do know that. You do know that. You do know that we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I know. But we talked about it on your air.
Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm just saying. Listen, I've been on the air with you a million times. How do I remember exactly what the fuck?
Maria says he's going to tell the story.
But it's relevant now to the rider and the condom thing. You understand that?
Well, that's the question. So apparently,
That's right. That was the whole point of the story. Maybe you did know, but maybe a lot of other people don't know.
but did he? But was he? But the writer is done well before the movie is starting. So what was his?
How do you know that they didn't audition each other together? And
We don't know what we don't know. But
and maybe Howard was just wanted to make sure he's a fucking big movie star, and one of the little starlets downstairs wants to give him a little pickle tickle.
little pickle tickle. John Doe says, "Well, there's 10 minutes of my life I can get back."
Miss you, Monique.
Okay. Talk about the dynamics between Ralph and Howard. Talk about the whole. Was the staff jealous of Ralph's relationship with Howard?
Oh well, we all know who was the most jealous.
Oh, here we go. From the private.
Well, no, that is pretty obvious. John was been dying to get into Howard's inner circle, like all those years. And it was like Howard almost did it like.
Look, do you see this? Mary Cook is the hairstylist.
What happened now?
Mary Cook is the hairstylist, and a guy named Paul Huntley was the
No, those aren't the people.
from the private part credits. That's
No, I think they were Irish names. It was a mother and a daughter.
Oh,
Look for
okay.
wig and hairstyles. She might not have been on Howard's list, but she was definitely on there. I know because I worked with her for 8 months.
Okay. All right.
So but the John, always felt. I think Howard did it on purpose because he was just being a dick and torturing John because he knew how bad he wanted to get into the inner circle.
Yeah.
And when the Ralph thing definitely made it was nothing was ever really said, but if you worked there, you knew.
But
You worked there, like wait, like it was like wait, he's going to Howard's house. Like John, I've never been invited to Howard's house. Oh, he went to Howard. He went to Howard to here. And John, and I think kind of rightfully so. I thought with Howard would have been more like that with John because John was some like fun, but there's something that he thought must have been torturous to do to John. And then when I think he did it to Ralph, it drove John even more madder, and it pushed him forward to do it worse. I don't know.
Steve, Colleen and Kimbra Callahan.
Yes, I told you, Irish.
There you go.
I told you, Irish.
Love the name Kimbra. All right, wait. So, but Stuttering John rests his laurels on the fact that he says that he was so much more part of the inner circle than absolutely anybody else was.
I think he was after I left.
Yeah.
I think after I left, he was. He finally got in there. When I was there, he wasn't. And he was the guy that was going out there, getting beat up for Howard and doing all this shit and really not making much money. And you would think, I thought that, he would have thought that he got pulled in before Ralph did.
Interesting.
And listen, it would annoyed me if I was in John's position. I can't imagine how much it annoyed a narcissist.
And was Ralph decidedly heterosexual when you were hanging out with him?
I knew we went to Scores, and I know he hooked up with fucking strippers. Everybody knows the story. We brought a stripper home to my apartment, and I wasn't having it, and I left. I let him fucking fuck her in my bed, and I cleaned the sheets. I actually burned them.
Well, that's the story where Ralph basically said that you were eating her out for like 6 hours after he fucked her, and so that
no, that wasn't happening. What happened was like it started out where he was getting his dick sucked, and I was eating her out, and then I just went, I don't want to see Ralph's dick, and then I left, and I went to Gandy's room. Well, it didn't last as long as he thinks he is. Maybe he thought it did.
So basically, you're sharing an apartment with 2 other guys, and you two bring
one other guy.
Oh, and you two bring a stripper back to your place.
My little my mattress was on the floor. I didn't even have a box spring. I love that. I love that. When when I first moved to my first apartment, I said I threw out the box spring and threw the mattress on the floor. I was like, fuck this. I want to sleep on the floor.
Yeah, that's doing it your own way. That's living life, Steve.
Yeah.
So did Ralph have
I didn't have a box spring until Sean Young. No, I'm just kidding. That was for you, Monique. Nobody else, just you.
Oh, yeah, that just.
Wait. There's her mattress. And I'm not kidding.
I know you're not. Guys. So
it's funny on so many levels that nobody else knows.
It's like a layer cake, like a delicious layer cake of shit.
Yeah, delicious.
So let me ask you a question. Did Ralph have a big cock? Yes or no? You saw it.
It was bigger than mine.
I've never seen yours. So how big? What? Give me a.
Listen, man. That was the first time I really saw another man's cock erect in my presence.
Pretty close to you.
It made me leave the room. I didn't want to see an erect cock. So I blacked out a lot of it, but it wasn't a tiny cock. I don't know what average is compared to mine, because I don't really fucking throw shit on the table. I don't like looking at a penis other than mine or something on a porn. But if I'm in a room with another cock, I don't want to be there.
Okay, so
that's why I left.
Dreams come true with Dreams come
I
true.
don't know. I'm not. The funny thing is, you're talking about me. I just had this huge conversation with some people today. I'm not good with inches or feet. If you tell me this is like 25 square feet, I don't know what that means. If you say it's 3 feet over there, I can't figure it out. So if you could ask me to say inches or whatever, it wasn't like a tiny cock.
So my iPad is 8.5 by 11. So this.
I don't know, man. That was a long time ago. I was drunk and I blacked it out.
All right. Just
I'm just saying it wasn't a little tiny cock. It was a penis that was erect, and it was like, looked like it'd do some damage.
You think that Ralph knows where all the bodies are buried? Is that why you think Beth went over there at 4:00 in the morning?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't think that until you told me that about a half an hour ago.
Bon Jovial, who is running the board for us tonight, thank you so much, Bon, comes up and says, "Hi, Steve.
Thank you.
Big fan of the work you did as a bartender. Quick question. What happened with the Bright Shot LED lighting company you were working for in 2015, 2016? Well, I could have told you that story. Go ahead.
Well, it's more of a personal, not personal. There's another company in the business that pretty much went around our legal patents and stole our technology, and unfortunately made deals with the people that we were partners, that our customers, and they wouldn't accept the deal unless they wouldn't use us. So we kind of got boxed out.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
And well, it's not that we're not still making money and people aren't using our lights, but our main customers got strong armed by another company that said, if you don't use our lights, and their lights are nowhere comparable to what we have, but our main customers were told that either you take this package or you take that package, and it's up to you. And they have a budget and they have other executives to answer to. And it was just a shame that it goes down like that in this business where that's what happens. But that's more or less kind of what did happen. It's not that we're dead in the water. It's not something that it was. We're still dealing with it. It's like, it's that they went about our patents. It's kind of messed up. And it's not, but we've also turned our efforts into battery generators, where, like, if you're shooting on a movie set and you have a giant gas generator that is loud and that is powering something on a location, you have a big problem. You have to turn them off. You have to fill them with gas. Gas is viable. You have to have someone there that has a hazmat thing. So we have actual battery generators that are just as efficient and quiet. And can light a whole movie set, and that's that. Life gives you lemon, you make lemonade, kind of thing.
Oh my God, can we move on?
Don't forget the vodka.
Thank you, Sunflower Dragon. Merry Christmas to you too. Happy birthday.
Merry Christmas.
Days, Grillo. Speaking of package. So let's talk about that John Stamos story, because it's always such a silly story to me. And there's always the story about Ralph basically gravy training on every single person that was like a friend of Howard's or of the.
And me.
And you.
And me. Yeah, he fucking latched on like a tick.
Yeah, and why did people enjoy it? Like, everybody's saying, oh, Ralph was so much fun to go out with. Ralph was so
well,
much
he was. He was, but you don't, at some point you don't realize when Ralph has an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And he sometimes it did come up like that, and it was like he was going to take care of Ralph, and that's that. But it wasn't always about you. It was about at some point it was always about him, and sometimes you don't find that out about somebody until years later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did, because I thought that was my boy. You know what I'm saying?
John.
And I wouldn't think my boy would stab me in the back. Not that it was like a stab in the back kind of thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't think like someone like him that I thought I was that close with would make things that weird and difficult and make me go, what did you just do? Why did you do that to me? Like, I would have done that to you.
But was it after you left the show? Was it?
Well, no, after I left the show, that was that.
And then you didn't talk to him?
No, he was like, I had two people that made me realize, wow, like they were just friends with me because of the show. One of them being a man named Billy Stanton, who was like, I met him through the China Club. He was an ex NYPD officer that became like a big private detective kind of style, and he took me underneath his wing. We ran at the China Club. He actually taught me how to have game. I had no game with girls, and he wasn't that good looking of a guy, but he would score fucking major pussy, like famous pussy and shit, and because he had style and he had like a personality, and I kind of learned from him. And he used to call me his little brother. I was almost in his wedding party, and then when I left the show, I called him up, and he didn't answer my phone calls for like 3 weeks. And this was the first like lesson I've heard. I go, Billy, what's up, man? You can't return my phone. This is someone I went out with like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And he like it was like the biggest punch in the face ever. Was he goes, well, you know what, Grillo, you're not on the show anymore. You really bring nothing to the table. And I was like,
Jesus.
Whoa.
Well, that's then that.
Wow. And then Ralph is pretty much the number 2. Ralph did the same thing, but just didn't have the balls to say it like Billy did.
Yeah, but you still
Like-
stayed friends, as I know. You still stayed friends with Robin for a while. I remember she took you to that New York thing.
Until I got fucking banned from the show.
Yeah, well, see, that was
That was your fault.
bullshit.
That was 100% your fault. And I don't hate you for it, but you called Raider Online.
Excuse
Yes, you
me.
did.
Excuse me. Number one, you were out doing a live stream with, was it Stacy?
Yeah, I was goofing around on something I didn't even know what it was. I just said I'm not mad at you.
But I would
Okay,
never call Radar.
but that Radar Online thing was my down. Well, that's the reason why she won't talk to me anymore.
I would never call Radar Online. Now, our friend Adam Levy worked at Radar Online, and he was like a listener of our show. But that has nothing to do with me. I would never.
I didn't even know what Radar Online was. I didn't even know what Periscope was. I just went on there as a goof, reciting something I read in the paper the day before. And then all of a sudden, it was like I was going on there going, Howard this and Howard that. I went, it was in the paper the other day. What? I remember my phone blowing up. I go to Roy. I go, Roy, why is my phone blowing up? What's Radar Online? Do people read this? And he goes, oh, just about 2 or 3 million people. And I was like, what? I had no idea. And I was like, I just said the same stupid thing that they said in the paper the other day as a goof. And then we got made an article. And then when I went to go have lunch with Robin, all of a sudden she comes out and she's like, did you do an interview with Radar Online? I went, no. I did a stupid thing on Periscope that I never saw of. I was making a joke about what they wrote in the paper. And she goes, well, you're banned. And she shut the door in my face. That's the last time I spoke to her.
Really? That was it?
Yeah, that was it, because of the Radar Online thing. And it was a goof. I was being dopey, and I was making fun of the article that came out the day before about that Marcy chick.
Yes. That's right. Marcy. That's right. It was about Marcy. I forgot.
Yeah. But that article came out the day before.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird.
And I was like, I was like, what's Periscope? I don't know what Periscope was. I didn't even know what viral was. I was like, what am I doing all over this phone? Why is my phone blowing up?
Yeah, you fucked that one up.
No, you did. The fucking evil maniacal laugh.
I know. So give us a good Ralph story. Give us something.
Oh, well, I can show you right here. It's right here in my living room.
I wore that once.
This is he got me this. We did birthdays and Christmases together. I gotta go this way. It's so weird.
It's good. That's good.
He got me this. This is a long time ago because we were both Star Wars geeks. I'm surprised he didn't steal Mark Hamill from me too.
I'm sure.
That was like early on, like 1992, 3 maybe. Like Star Wars was sort of dead in the water, and he went and found some place in California that made those replicas, and it was unheard of. This was like before, like how you can buy Star Wars shit now everywhere. Like it was a dead zone in the Star Wars world.
Only the diehards could.
Yeah, and he knew that, and he got that for me, and he went out of his way to get it for me. You know what I'm saying? There was no online where you could pick up something like this. He went and called a bunch of like prop places, because he knew I was a Boba Fett fan, and he found that helmet, and God knows what he had to pay for it at that time. and bought it for me for Christmas.
He probably got it for free because he said he
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, in theory, you know what though? It wasn't at that point. It wasn't at that point where we could have used like you know, Ralph didn't have that kind of like influence
Okay.
when he got me that. He
So-
literally paid out of pocket for that,
Yeah,
and he
I
went out of his way to get it for me.
but girl, I want a good Ralph story, not a Boba Fett Ralph story.
That's a good Ralph story. He bought me something that I look at every day, and it makes me think of him.
I
That's a positive, nice Ralph story.
wore that helmet. I put that helmet on.
Yeah, I know.
And I took a
So
picture.
what other good Ralph stories is we went out like they were all drunken blurs. They were so much fun. Like he would come in like it would be like a Friday or Saturday night. We go both go home and take naps, and he'd come pick me up wherever I was in his goddamn Jeep that had no shocks. And by the time he got out, your back hurt. But we went to some nightclub and we went to somewhere and we were out all night long.
Yeah,
And there were nights that we were out and we went straight to work.
did get
You know what I'm
89.
saying?
We just talked about the score stripper. We just had that conversation about 20 minutes ago about the black chick that came to Grillo's apartment and she was blowing Ralph while Grillo was going down on her and then Grillo in a drunken blur somehow got out of the way of Ralph's penis. And
Yeah, I got the fuck out of it. It's a lot quicker than that Ralph likes to think about.
yeah, so
Used to like to think about.
freeway. Is that the only time you guys ever did that together?
Yeah, no, that's the only time I ever did that with anybody. One and done. I realized that there is no way in hell I want another man's penis in the room while I'm having sex with a woman.
Were you still around when Ralph went to Howard's house and basically vomited all over the place and got completely?
No. No, because he was still really, when I was there, he was still married to Allison. You know, like, I'm not saying he wouldn't have got away with it, but like, there was nothing. I heard tales about shit like that, and I can't believe like how he got away with stuff like that, which really means that there's something else there. Obviously, that he didn't he get busted breaking into Howard's house because he was so drunk he forgot his keys or something.
And no, he actually wound up going home, and then he cursed out everybody the next day for leaving him for dead at like whatever club they were at because he couldn't figure out how. He didn't know Howard's address. He didn't know how to get back to his his house.
So, but I'm just saying, but like, who else would get away with that?
And still be.
You know what I'm saying? And why is he? I think that was the biggest question for everybody: is why is he getting away with it?
Yeah, people.
Why is he getting away with it? Like there was no.
Know why exactly you would eat out a stripper? Like that can't be good. That can't be a tasty treat.
Well, she was. She was like fucking caramel candy, baby.
Somebody's calling you.
I felt like it was Easter morning.
Hey, Steve, please answer this for me. Did Howard have sex with Cindy Margolis's best friend from the wet bra segment? I know Howard had sex with a couple of girls guests, like Erica the gymnast, maybe too.
Here's the deal, and this is an honest answer. As far as I know, I don't think he ever had sex with anybody other than possibly Mary McCormick. If he had anything going on while I was there, I would have 100% up until the point where I went to the fucking private parts rap party. I would have 100% guaranteed put my balls on the line that he never did anything.
Okay, what about the story that you and I both heard at the same time about Howard getting a blowjob at Scores?
I couldn't see anything.
You know what I'm talking
about? He wore those sweatpants for a reason.
Steve, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, by that one girl?
Yes.
Yeah, that girl is nuts, though.
I know that girl.
That girl's nuts, clever.
But she told us that story, like really, like
yeah, but I don't. That girl also said that I had 4 other stories that are just as crazy with that girl. She was convincing when she told the story.
Yes,
and she swears up and down that she did. I don't doubt it. I just never would think. I never see it. The way she told it, it was like, but I think I was already gone, so. It could have been like post Allison anyway.
The story, Grillo and I were hanging out with this chick over at the bar, and it was a friend of Grillo's, and she was marginally E-lister of sorts. She had been on the Stern Show with somebody she was dating who was very famous. They all went out to Scores after the famous person she was dating was on the show, and she will swear to, and she swore to us that she was upstairs in the. So I guess the way
There
Scores,
was no upstairs, so there's a lot right there.
there was a VIP section. She was hanging out outside of it, and then when they opened the door, she would swear up and down that she saw a chick
There was nothing like that at Scores. At least the original Scores.
giving
Unless
head.
there was the VIP room in the back where it was a flat level, and then it went up into another level that was like the dark room. But there was no closed doors. There was no closed doors. Like if she saw him getting his dick sucked, it wasn't at Scores. It might could have been somewhere else, but the Scores didn't have rooms like that. Maybe I think the new Scores has it, but that was like those timelines don't cross.
But when she told us it, she said, "Swear."
Yeah, well, you know what? She also tells me her husband beats her, and I don't believe that either. So
Yeah, well, whatever.
there you go.
Grillo absolutely did not sign an NDA.
I'm not standing up for the guy. Maybe she did see it. But I just her story doesn't add up to me all the way.
Okay, Mr. Judy News saying Grillo wrong. There were several VIP rooms
Yeah, where? I lived there for like 5 years.
at Scores.
Yeah, no, not the Scores I was at.
Where did they do
Maybe.
private dances?
What's that?
Where did they do private dances?
They didn't at that point. Everything was an open giant room.
Are you sure? I absolutely.
Am I sure? I had $5,000 in funny money in my pocket, and this girl, I was like, "I'll give it to you right now." She said she wanted to fuck me, but I had to wait for her to leave. If there was a private room, why wouldn't she fuck me in a private room?
Well, because you're not allowed to fuck in,
Bullshit. That's the point of the private room.
Yeah, but if you got in trouble, you get arrested.
I don't know where private room. The newer strip clubs all had private door rooms and shit like that. I'm telling you about the original Scores party, the original Scores. It was dark as hell. I know people got hand jobs up there, but everybody was sitting in the same room.
Interesting.
There wasn't a private room for someone to get someone's dick sucked, unless it was some guy's office in the back that you were never allowed in.
So when they started talking about Ralph and giving him the little, send off and what have you, every one of them said that, Ralph is going to die with the secret of whether he was gay or not. So
They outed him? That's not cool.
No. They said that he was going to die with that secret. Like it was not something that he wanted to talk about. It wasn't something that he was.
I know he was bi, so he liked a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So God bless him.
Bi, if you get anally punctured, can you really be bi?
Well, if you like anally puncturing a woman, yes.
Yeah, but okay, we're talking about a guy.
That means bi means two. Bi means two. One and two. Women and men. Maybe you like being pegged. Maybe you like being pegged. But you know what? I wish I had that kind of fucking freedom. I don't. I don't like. I'll take 3 women all at the same time. Not that I haven't, and it's wonderful. But like, if there's another penis in the room, and I've declined really cool situations in my life that could have been interesting if I would have dealt with another penis in the room. I just don't want it. Some people like broccoli. Some people don't.
So in that same story with the whole John Stamos thing was the whole thing about how Ralph was trying to insist that your wife was like diddling him every single time she saw him. Didn't that piss you off?
What do you mean diddling him?
So she said that he would your wife would play with his penis every time she saw him. So I'm going to read you the
I don't remember that at all, but my wife was a fucking flirtatious girl, but she might have been fucking. I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest with you.
Really?
Wouldn't be the first person she did. She wanted to bring guys home. I didn't want it.
I know that. Let's see. Okay, Stamos, Ralph.
She tried to play that game in the beginning. I said no, and when I told her no, she respected that, and it didn't happen.
And
I told her, here's the deal. If just because you brought a couple of girls home, if there's a trade-off that I have to watch another guy be with you, I never ever wanted you to bring another girl home again.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't want to see another man's penis in your mouth or your vagina because it's going to ruin both those places for me for the rest of my life. So if that's the trade-off, then don't ever bring a girl home or you could leave. And she said, well, okay. And that was it. She never brought it up again.
Yeah, Howard asked about. Ralph said. Let's see. Ralph said. Ralph said she rubbed his cock one night. Steve said Ralph wanted to make it happen, but they left him out on the street with a hard-on one night. Steve said it was.
Yeah, that was one night. He tried to jump in the cab, and I tossed his ass out. I remember that night exactly.
Yeah, Steve said
my ex was fucking. She was fucked up, and we were at Schwartz, and she was drinking tequila, and she had no idea what she was doing, and Ralph tried to get in the taxi, and I fucking stiff-armed him, pushed him away, shut the taxi door, and left him standing there with his dick between his legs. Guess what? That never happened again.
So did you never ever speak to Ralph after you left the show? Like that was it?
Yeah. That's what was kind of fucked up. The last time I saw him, and I'd seen him a bunch of times in between. Mm-hmm. Cold as ice. And you could almost go back to Chappelle's show. Charlie Murphy, you're cold as ice. Basically the Billy Stanton routine, where he stopped taking my phone calls. It used to be, I thought, because after I left the show, I was still friends with everybody, except for the one friend that it was like, I thought was my different friend, like, because we went out and did things outside of what everybody else did.
So you think,
and again, we had.
Do you hang out with him all the time?
What?
Do you think he used you?
No, I just think that he, possibly in a weird way, might have been offended that I left. Like maybe he took it personal, like I can't believe you bailing on us, bro. And then I think that's part of it. I think that was a big part of it. He was kind of almost insulted that I bailed because of that was part of our friendship. And then he was also with Howard. It was an ego, like you fucked Howard over. I mean, really? Those are two ways that I've always thought about it. He was insulted that I left. And do I think Howard told him that you can't hang out with Grillo anymore? No, I think he was offended as a friend that I turned on him.
But don't you think they all got the edict after that stupid radar thing came out that they're not allowed to talk to you anymore? And who?
No, because I'm not going to give people's names, but I could text a lot of people on that show that get back to me right away.
Yeah.
So, and they did about Ralph, and I'll never throw those people under the bus, but no, I don't think that. It was just him. But that was the other thing. The weird thing is, the last time I went to AGT at Radio City twice, and the first time I was kind of like right behind where the judges were and shit, and I saw Ralph, and I was like, "Yo," he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "What's going on, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, well, I'm running around. I'm busy. I don't know what he was doing." But I said, "Yo, he's right there. Should I say hello?" He goes, "No, don't say hello to him."
Really?
And I was like, and I went, "Oh shit, whatever." And then the next time I went, I saw Don Buchwald, who absolutely loves me. Me and Don have a lot of fun stories together. Okay, I go up to Don, and him and his wife were sitting on the aisle. I go, "Don," he goes, "Grillo, what's going on?" And Howard's like really kind of close, and he goes, "Oh, blah, 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 blah. Did you say hello to Howard?" I go, "No, the last time I was here, Ralph told me no." He goes, "Get out of here!" And he picks me up and he walks me over. He goes, "Howard, look who's here."
He picks me up.
And yeah, no, like anybody know. He was like, "Come on," and he's pushing me over to the judges table, and he goes, "Howard lives here." And at that point, I had a goatee that was like down to here, and he goes, and he hasn't seen me really. You got to remember, when I started there, I was 19 years old. I was a baby.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, in my like early 40s, and he was like, "Oh my God, look, you're all grown up," and it was so sincere. And then I was like, "Oh, I was here the last time, but Ralph told me, he said you didn't want to talk to me." He goes, "Oh, fuck Ralph. Are you kidding me? How you doing? What's going on?" And, this is before Radar Online and shit. But he was so sincere and so happy to see me. And I was like, Ralph, like, purposely pushed me away from him. If it wasn't for Don, I wouldn't went up to say hello to him. Ralph was like, "Absolutely not." And Don was like, "Get out of here. Come over here. No, Howard, look who's here."
And and that was it.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw him.
That's all she wrote.
So, yeah, fucking asshole.
How much older was Ralph than you?
Well, I guess 7 years.
7 years. 7 years. And
Didn't make a difference over there. Everybody had a different age. I've come to terms with this, and I was actually talking with someone this today. So, what has age got to do with it? I get along with people that are 85 years old. I get along with people that are 17 years old or 15 years old.
Of course,
If you've got a brain in your head and you know how to talk to somebody, it's real simple.
A 19-year-old under your wing and have him come hang out in the basement with you when you're married and you're going on to like porn sites together to like have fun and goof. It just seems a little bit wrong.
What? Say that again? With who?
But he used to bring Ralph over to his house. And
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know that shit. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what? No. I don't. Yeah, no. Listen, obviously there was some suspect shit going on.
But
and so then the fact that Beth ran over to collect the evidence at 4:30 in the morning when the night he died was it's an obvious. It's obvious. It's almost like it's so obvious that Biden's a criminal, but nobody's fucking acknowledging it.
If you
so it's the same thing.
$1 million,
yeah,
whether or not there were some shenanigans going on with Ralph and Howard, would you win the bet?
Listen, man. No one's gonna. How about this? You know we're gonna find out when we're dead.
No, we're never gonna find out.
No, when you're dead, the truth will be revealed. God will be like, man, you were so right. Wow, you were on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna know the truth until we die.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to meet him. Yes, Ralph was damaged goods. I agree with you, Kevin. I agree that Ralph was a damaged person.
He damaged himself. He had it good, man. You have it good. Yeah, he took advantage of that shit because he knew he can get away with it because Daddy wasn't going to fucking beat him.
But
that's another problem with Fred. Here's another problem with Ralph. This is probably his biggest problem is, you know what? That motherfucker never got a fat lip. He never got a fat lip.
Yes, exactly. And
everybody can get a fat lip. Every once in a while goes, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that. He never got a fat lip. He got patted on the bottom and said, go along, little boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And why do you think that is though? Why?
I don't know. Well, you know what? God bless him, man. He had something that charmed the pants off the fuck out of a lot of people. And he knew what he was doing and he was good at it. So God bless him on that.
I agree, Frank the Tank. Ralph wasn't damaged. He was a classic leech piece.
He wasn't damaged. You know what? Don't say he was damaged. He wasn't damaged. He was living the life. He didn't have to do shit. And he hung out with his best friend who was a billionaire and hung out with every celebrity in the world and got everything he wanted. So don't fucking say he was damaged goods. He got where he wanted because that's what he did.
Scores from Big John one night.
What's that?
Ralph got a fat lip at Scores from Big John one night.
Oh, I would have paid to see that.
Did you ever go by Ralph's apartment in Jersey City?
Once, but it was a drunken bloody night. He had everything was nice. It was all in glass cases.
That's what
he had glass cases, like all the shit in there.
What did
it was cool?
Like?
But it was blurry because we went there to he had to change or something. And that was just it was all cool. It was very neat and very of course stylistic.
What was
what's that?
What was his big collectible? What was he very into?
Well, he was Star Trek more. We shared Star Wars, but I think he liked Star Trek a little more. He was a little older, so I think he had Star Trek in his blood before he had Star Wars. Yeah. He liked the Star Trek shit. But still, he was an artist. There's no two ways about it. The guy did he did do some very cool shit. Like the makeup that he did on Channel 9 was classic. He did have an artistic way about him. Yeah. And it carried over in his personal life.
Well, yes, like Mary Jean is saying that Ralph was adopted. He was also abused by a priest when he was a child. So, he had some things going on. He had some shit.
Well, guess what? So I didn't get diddled by a priest. I wasn't adopted, but I have my issues too, and I'm sure you do too, Monique. So wham, and then the God bless Artie, wham.
Hey, has anybody heard anything about Artie?
Nope. Which I was kind of shocked about. I went to go see Colin Quinn's one-man show.
Yeah, how was that?
Which of course, if you ever read Artie's book, he he gives credit for Colin Quinn showing up his apartment and saving his life, where he brought two of his big Irish thugs. They threw him in a van and brought him to rehab when he knew he was going to kill himself that weekend. So that his I don't think he's still doing it, but it was down in the West Village, and I went with a bunch of friends, and it was fantastic. And I don't really know him, but I know we've met each other, and he knows who I am, and I know who we've always been like, hey, what's up? I was like, I always introduce myself. He goes, I know who you are. Come on now, and we just happened to be waiting outside for a Uber, and he came out, and I was like, oh, I want to thank you for saving our friend's life. And he was like, oh, what? I go, Artie. And then he realized who I was, and he was like, oh, Grillo, thank you so much, man. That's so nice. That's so nice. I was like, dude, you just killed it in there. And all my friends were like, yeah, you were great. And then the Uber, it was still late, but we got to talk a little bit. I said, have you heard anything? And he just said, no. He goes, nobody has. And he was tight. So whatever little suspect I have, he's obviously living with mom, and he just can't handle being in the spotlight.
You know what? I don't blame him, actually. If staying away from your friends and the people that you knew that were causing you to go to the dark side again is going to keep you healthy.
Well, fame is his dark side. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's good at it, and people love him, and it's a drug, and it triggers his fucking endorphins. And once your endorphins start, guess what? You want more endorphins.
Best Principal wants to know, Steve, of all the women who got naked on the show, is there one woman's set of tits that is permanently fixed in your mind's eye?
Janine Lindenmuller.
Pre-tattoos.
Pre-tattoos. That girl blew me away. And I don't like fake boobs, and hers were fantastic.
Yeah,
but I did see Sally Kelderman's. Those things poured out like pancake batter.
Thank you. No, thank you. But do you think that Janine Lindenmuller messed herself up with all those tattoos? Like, wasn't that like a turn off?
No. She messed her up and ruined those perfect boobs. She had perfect boobs. Oh no, I like all the tattoos. That's filthy. I want to drag her by the fucking hair across the room.
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah. So everybody in the chat is saying, of course, Ralph was damaged. He was sexually abused as a child and all this other stuff.
We all had our shit. I got a blowjob when I was 11 from a 19-year-old girl. Am I crying in my pillow? No.
Oh, geez. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up our little
Truth.
Yeah. All right. Sweetheart, I miss you. And
I miss you too. Well,
yeah.
I told you I'm writing a book. If there's any publishers out there that are interested in this and many, many, many other fucking sick stories, you can find me through Monique.
Yes, exactly. Just
I have 3 chapters. I have a biography and I have a summary.
Oh,
summary. Wow. So if you need something to read, they're very interesting, and it's just the tip of the iceberg.
All right.
I was thinking I have to have a chapter that I think that for the first time ever in publishing, it's going to have like one of those old school wax like ceilings. So like my family doesn't read the filthy things that have gone behind the scenes. So if you want to read it, you break it with a pencil and you can read it. And then if my family gets it, they don't have to get to the dirty stuff.
Oh, you're so cute and naive that they wouldn't open that up immediately if not so.
Yeah, no, my friend, no. My parents, no. A lot of people are not going to want to know. But the book will probably be worth more with the unsealed wax. So maybe you have to buy 2.
Indeed. Right. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And hanging with me tonight. And have
I hope you give you what you wanted.
Yes, it was fun. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And
it's the last night of Hanukkah, correct?
I don't know.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. Baruch Atah, I'm annoyed. All right.
Eloheinu melech haolam, amotzi lakamino. Amen. You got to daven.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was that. All right, everybody. That was good. Thank you so much, Grillo, for coming on and hanging with us tonight. You guys in the chat were killing me. That was I thought we'd get more stories that we didn't know, but we didn't. Ida, thank you so much. Happy holidays, Skunkers. Thank you so much. Today is December 19th. We probably will not get another show in for Christmas. I did think it was interesting, however, while we were talking, that these were all the rejected Howard Stern private parts posters. Interesting. It's $115. I wonder if I should buy one of these for us. So here's what some of the things that they were going to use. Let me see. Hang on a second. None of these were his body. Obviously, Howard's never looked like that. But I wouldn't deny that that could possibly be Ralph. You know, I think that's it's a good possibility. It's a good possibility of that. Horrible, really. Just all of this is awful. But that does look like Ralph's body. I'm gonna run with that. I'm gonna stick with that as being something I think happened. All right, guys. So yeah, that's it. And that's all I got. I know. Oh, okay. Stop it. That's right. I didn't ask if Grillo was Ralph was Grillo's great love. No, I'm sorry about that. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for coming and hanging with me. Okay, yes, Autobot AI. I know. And G Canada, don't think I didn't see what you wrote before earlier either. But I told you guys, I talked to Carl last week about setting up my phone call thing correctly. And I think I figured it out. I just need to test it out and see that I have it correct. And then and then we'll do a call-in show. Maybe next week after Christmas. Maybe we'll do like a early New Year's thing or something like that. I know, guys. Okay, I know. I thought we'd get other skinny from him. I thought we'd get something. He said he had really good stories about Ralph and blah 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 blah. And yeah, we knew the stories. So sorry about that. And I don't think the Instagram thing worked, but every show is our first show, so that's the way it goes. No, Gungadin, I promise you, you know what? I'm inherently lazy, so you have to know that. I just I think about things and I think about doing some stuff. Look, I had a whole page of questions for Steven. And yeah, whatever. All right. So maybe next week we'll do something. And for sure we'll do I will promise you today that we will do a call-in show. Okay, we will do it. So yeah, that's all I got. And yeah, we'll see you anon. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at radiogunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Radio Gunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we do. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. Before I hang up, the puppet has been shipped. And hopefully it's going to be here. I don't know, probably like next week or something. I have the tracking. It's coming from Canada. But yeah, so we'll debut it probably. Oh, I don't know. I have to get together with Dennis, but we'll probably debut it at some point. But I just want you to know it's not what you think, because we decided we were going to do something a little bit sillier and a little bit more ridiculous. And I had to go shopping for clothes for it just so that it would just be perfect and just be right. Yes, I have seen it. You guys are gonna die. I shared it with Dennis and with Xavier, but we had long talks about it, about what character would be the most fun to have on the show, and it's definitely not Howard. Okay, so that's your only hint. But yeah, and I had to buy clothes for it because the dress is a little bit different than what a puppet maker had for us. Okay, so that's it. Yes, Johnny Chopsticks. My arms are tremendous. I have the most tremendous arms and hands in the whole wide world. You guys are such dicks. All right, now I'm going. So goodbye.